Hi, everybody, and welcome to another session of Inventors Launchpad Roadmap to Success. I am your host, Carmine Denisco, and today on the Launchpad, we have an expert in the way that will allow you to pitch your product, speak in front of people in the best possible way. His name is Bob Turel. He's got over 30 years experience in helping people not only talk about their product, talk about what they need, actually get their point across without letting the audience fall asleep. He's got a lot of other tricks up his sleeve and things in his bag of tricks. And again, I'm going to let him talk about what he does for a living, how he helps entrepreneurs and inventors. And let me bring him on real quick and let him kind of finish what he does and what his business is. Hey, Bob, are you over there?
Yeah, I'm good, Carmine. Thanks again for the invite to be on your show.
Hey, Bob, I just did a quick intro, and I don't know if you heard me. Any of the gaps that I left out, go ahead and fill them in.
No real gaps, but it's just what's hardest for a lot of people that have passion to think about, Carmine, is how to get their passion across. Because it's great to have an invention or an idea that you think that people can use, but if you can't sell them or convince them or persuade them or even inspire them to go further, then your product can sit on a shelf in your mind and never get past, the stage of development. So hopefully what I do is ease people into, but Carmine, I don't like doing public speaking, ease them from that into, maybe I'll give it a try. My product's worth it or my idea is worth it. It's always worth a shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, the public speaking part, how many people do you run into that really like public speaking?
Probably 0 to 1. It's not a lot, Carmine. And you know yourself, it may take you a while, differently than it may take me a while, but everyone's got a shot at it if they have a reason for it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it to me, it's a lot of preparation, and the preparation really pays off when that time that you get to pitch your product or pitch your idea, or maybe talk to some funders, or even on a job interview, it really pays off. And I know you were in the corporate world for a number of years. Is this something that you did in the corporate world, or you transitioned into, or kind of fit together when you left the corporate?
It actually fit together while I was in corporate because it became one of the many professional development courses that I used. And, even then people inside would go, why do I need to do that? I don't speak before audiences. And I would look them right in the eye and say, have you ever gone on an interview? Have you ever sat across the table from one guy or, 3 women or 4 men? In other words, the point is, it's about communications and what you're trying to sell about yourself, not just about speaking before an audience. And now, as we sit here today with video, it becomes, don't you want to come across about your product or your business in a way that's dynamic, that everyone's going to be able to see as well as hear you?
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. And I, again, I hear from a lot of people. I know that you work with, some big name people, some people that are up and coming. And I know you do a lot of work with the entrepreneur world. And, just jumping into the video side of it, when, probably when you started the speech side, video probably wasn't there. Or it was, but it was just such a hassle to start video. Now everyone has an HD camera on their phone or on their person at all times. And how does a video really play into really trying to get your point across?
Well, there's 2 things that happen in my business. When I coach someone to make a presentation, one of the ways video is very effective, Carmine, is that I use it as a feedback tool. If I were to point out that, hey, just now you took a little cup of coffee and took a sip, you'd be able to say, oh, that's right, I can see that on screen, I can see that. So when I'm giving them feedback, they can see as well as hear what I'm giving them feedback about, and in terms of improvement. When it comes to advertising your business, think about it. Everybody likes to text a little bit. Everybody likes to fit something in a post on Facebook. But isn't it much more dynamic and compelling to say, hey, Carmine, this is me. I'm speaking about my business. I'm here in it. I'm in my studio or wherever I am. And look, I can show and tell some of my products. Nothing can be better than almost being there, right?
Yeah, I agree. Being able to reach out and have somebody connect with the person speaking, voice and text is great. And that's one of the reasons we even switched over from this podcast as we're doing some live video.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting some requests. You're going to start doing some video podcasts now.
Right.
Video is great, there are some things that keep people away from video is they have to edit it. They have to update it. They're scared of it. I mean, I get a lot of people that just say, I just don't like doing video because of the different equipment and the different types of things in mind. Is there ways for people just to shoot quick videos, not have to worry about how great it looks, or maybe a quick tips on the background, or isn't any of that really necessary anymore? I remember when we first started out in video, and everyone was worried about the lighting and the and how you're going to look. I mean, it seems like we're kind of getting away to that, where it's more of right at the moment type thing, and people are used to that.
Yeah. If you think about it, a lot of people have the most popular phone on the market, the iPhone, whether it's this, S7 or 7S, whatever. The point is, you've got so many tools available to you, and so many of these cameras automatically adjust for lighting and sound. Even if they didn't, Carmine, most of these phones, most mobile devices from Mac or Apple come with iMovie. And that kind of that automatically just lets you drop photos or even video in there. And it practically does it for yourself. But think about it. These days, Facebook has already incorporated Facebook Live. So when you're standing there in the corner, you can almost do a man on the street interview. You can almost say, hey, I'm here with Carmine. Look, we're coming to you live, beaming to you live, whatever. And I mean, the point is, nowadays, you've got so many tools that all you got to do is point your mobile device. It's made for you.
Man, how powerful is that? I mean, you're starting up a business, being able to just take your phone out, grab a camera. I mean, what does that take? I mean, a lot of people will kind of shy away from that, but it seems like to you and I, it seems like it would be fun to do.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's in our DNA, Carmine. I think some of us just go, it's okay to be a showman. It's okay to be a show person, and I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. You happen to have a lot of technology knowledge, so you're able to incorporate a lot of what you want to do with technology. There are people, though, that are still scared and feared of, well, I don't know how to make that work. I don't know how to do it. Well, just, get coached from a few people, get some help, even help online. And once you do it, I think it's like anything else, Carmine, once you get your feet wet, you go, hey, this could be fun. I might even go surfing. Who knows? I'm going to take it to the next level.
No, I agree. And it seems like these days that people that have businesses or people that are searching for a business, and kind of we'll slowly get off of this subject because of the time limits that we have. But I think it's important that the people know out there these days, because of social media, because of video, because of pictures, it seems like people are very aware of a company that they want to do business with, or being able to see the person that might be coming to your front door to fix your washing machine, or do you paint your house, or it just seems like people are so aware and kind of used to it now. And it really might help them make the decision, right?
I do too. If you think about it, Carmine, if you had a plumber come to your house tomorrow, wouldn't it be just easy to hold up the phone and go, hey, Johnny, I just want to ask you, this will help your business. Can I get can you mind if I give you a testimonial? In other words, some referral that the world can see. Why is Johnny going to argue with that? Johnny's going to get some plumbing business out of it. And it furthermore develops you as a sort of a screen star to say, this is the way to give a referral live while the guy's still just finishing his work.
I'm actually, you read my mind. I wanted to walk right into this part. In your mind, and I know a lot of people think of this differently, and sometimes even myself, how important is it to really get a testimonial from a client? And is there a right or wrong time to ask?
Yeah, a lot of people are shy. You used the word before about, people being shy about this whole technology. I've met people that said, oh, I always forget. I want to ask the person while they're right there. Well, striking while the iron is hot, Carmine, is the best time. And if you've got the device and all you got to do is click on it or tap it, I mean, you've practically got the dynamic way of getting someone to say, I loved what he did for me. I just made a video with him and it was great. I mean, why not capture it while they're still glowing and basking in the what you just did, the service you provided?
Yeah, I agree. And not that you want to do it because you're worried something might happen in the future or they won't want to do it. But like you said, getting it done right there, it allows you to not only take that, look at their enthusiasm. They're going to talk about it, but you don't have to go back or call them and
True.
Big process.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it unless you get it right there. Most likely that chance is lost. And
it's lost.
Yeah. And on my end, I believe that testimonials are super important. At Inventors Launchpad, I can tell you, we don't do any advertising. We do this podcasting, to help inventors and entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all of our work or clients, new client is through advertising, through media type of things, and through our clients that are passing along our name. And
Great.
you're probably a testimonial to that. I mean, you've actually sent us some potential clients. A lot of people don't fit into our model, which is okay, but we still help them. I mean, even if we don't bring a client in, we are in touch with them all through the process, and being able to do that, and we get a testimonial from them. So testimonials on my end are super important, and I was kind of glad that you fed into that, because I wanted the listeners to know how important it is to be able to grab a testimonial. Don't be shy about it, because you really, really need it to grow your business, whether it's an audio testimonial or video. Video is so important. To grab your phone and say, hey, can we get a quick testimonial?
That's it.
9 out of 10 people will say, oh yeah. They say, yeah. People love seeing themselves on camera, even though they act like, oh no, I got to do my hair or I got to get ready. I think people like to not only help out the small business people, but I think it's fun. They'll send it to their friends, and if you can get a testimonial from someone who has a large following, that's more important. So if you're a service guy or whatever, and you get somebody that has a big network, or somebody that might be popular in the city or town that you live in, and you do some good work for them, get a testimonial. I mean, if you get somebody that has one person on their Facebook page and you get a testimonial, it might not help you too much. But if you get the mayor and you walk into their house, or you get somebody that has hundreds of thousands of people that they can spread the word about their work that you did. So get that testimonial.
And speaking of large numbers of people, Carmine, it's always important to remember that when we talk about social media, I know the most popular social type of media is Facebook, but that's a combination of social/business. I'm not knocking it. I advertise there all the time. But remember, LinkedIn is straight up business. So when you go there, you've got business-oriented people that are going to go, hey, there's an Inventors Launchpad, there's a group, there's a discussion. You got to be able to work that, and never, ever knock Twitter. There's a lot of people that just think, Twitter for little kids, far from it. People get millions and millions of dollars worth of business from there. And nowadays, Google Plus is making a real, inroad into social media. So whether it's Hootsuite, whether you're trying to make a multiple, posting, work social media in toto. Make sure you have several different platforms you're posting on.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you. So, and that's one thing, to anybody that's listening in on this, the information that Bob's giving you guys is priceless. I mean, he's telling you exactly not only how to start, but maintain your business, but also grow. Not only your following, a following turns into businesses. The more people watch your videos, the more they listen to what you've been doing or follow you, the more chances you have of them calling you or telling someone else when they need your service. So don't think like just because you posted a video and no one has called you that day that you posted it, that it makes work. Don't give up that quickly. Social media and every video, everything that you put out there really gets in front of people, and it takes time, right, Bob?
It does. And if you think about something, Carmine, we hate to admit to this, but I could ask you how many times you've seen a gecko in 1 week. You probably go, too many times. I'm sick of that guy. That little guy, I like him, but he got to get away from me. Whether it's Verizon, whether it's Progressive, the point is advertising is never a one-time shot. People put something on Facebook and they go, well, 20 hours later, some people will see it. Make sure you work it during the week, work it during the month. You've got to repeat what you're broadcasting, because if you don't, somebody's going to miss it, even though that they'll eventually see it. It's hard to imagine going from the world of I want to create things in my mind to I want to advertise things all over the place, and I want to do it repetitively. But that's the business we're all in.
No, I agree with you. And it's sometimes hard to separate that and push yourself. Not everybody likes doing everything. Yeah. And sometimes you need to take on a partner to fill in those gaps of what your knowledge is and what their knowledge is. My partner here at Inventors Launchpad, Rick, we don't fight, but we disagree on things. We talk about it, and he has knowledge that I don't have, and he helps me through things, and I help him through things. And you don't have to get along. I mean, he doesn't have to come to my house for Thanksgiving dinner. Partner and somebody that can help you work things out, it really helps. And just somebody to throw things against. I can tell you that there's in my network, somebody like Bob, if I have a question or something like on video or something about speaking, or I'm doing a big presentation, I mean, I can reach out to Bob or reach out on social media and be able to talk to somebody. So that's why social media and starting a business is very important. If there's things that you don't want to do that need to be done, I implore you to find somebody that can help you get those items done.
And that's what we're all in business for, Carmine. I mean, I'm here not trying to deliberately hawk my business, but even though it's not a popular subject, when it comes time for you to do even a snippet, even a little bit, to get some help means you're going to have a polish that maybe you wouldn't have if you just held up the phone and went, well, I'm not sure if the lighting's right. Maybe the sun's behind me. The point is, somebody can give you a couple of hints, a couple of tips. It looks 10 times better.
Oh, better. It could make all the difference in the world, just making eye contact and things that need to be done. When you go to pitch your idea or bring your business to someone that could make or break, I mean, you're going to go say you have an invention. You're going to go jump in front of a seed funding agency, an angel investor. I mean, you have to knock it out of the park because you're listening to 10, 20 people. So hiring somebody like Bob just to help you with a small bit or take a video or listen, don't say that, say that. That could be the difference in getting that needed funding. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring Bob on. He's exactly right. We're not pitching his business. We're pitching doing things the right way. And that's what's so important about that. And just to kind of switch gears, Bob, I do want to get back to kind of what you have, what you can offer those entrepreneurs and those investors. What else you do? I know you had some amount of years with Toastmasters. Can you just go a little bit into that and talk about that? It's such a great institution.
It is. And if you think about all the times we spent in school, Carmine, a lot of us just go, thank God it's behind me. So this isn't like a school. It's more like a support group that allows people to say, Carmine, if you want to play shortstop, you play short, I'll play first base. We're still on the same team. We support one another, but you can do individual things differently than I do. And Toastmasters is at your own pace. That's a big deal because a lot of people go, what if I can't make it each week? No problem. You make it when you can, but you always make progress because it's kind of one of those things where you never stop. You just keep learning more and more and developing. So when I say join Toastmasters to a lot of my clients, they look at me and go, oh, you're trying to sell me. It's not a sale. It's more of a suggestion to say, if you do this, it's like your golf swing. The more you practice, the better you get.
Yeah, I agree. And not to, and again, we're not pushing Toastmasters.
No.
The caliber of people that come to Toastmasters that you can make connection with is probably pretty big.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, being able to go there, and you've probably run into people that, you wouldn't be able to run into anywhere else.
And if you think about it, Carmine, I can vouch for this after 20 years being in the organization. It's not just your great speakers. There's some people that come into a meeting and go, oh, Carmine speaks really good. He's on camera. He does all this stuff. But they forget that there's little Johnny, the plumber, or somebody, Mary, the secretary. Everybody's at a different level. And that's the point. We all clap. We all support each other. But we're saying, you develop at your speed. I'll do mine. And we're all coming in at different levels. It doesn't matter. We're on the same team. We all support one another, but we're going at different speeds and different rates.
Yeah, no, I agree. So again, I mean, it seems like through your process of work and starting business and things like that, it seems like you've been preparing yourself for this business that you started to help people, like all your corporate work, your Toastmasters, your video work. It seems like you've been able to bundle all this up and be able to offer a great product to almost anyone.
Yeah, if you think about it, Carmine, this might sound a little kind of hokey, but I sometimes feel that whatever's in your soul, we talk a lot about, I have a passion to do this or that. Somewhere along the line, I learned, and that's why I'm hitting myself here, I got a passion to teach. Now, teaching, a lot of people go, teachers, you mean like Pinellas County? No, I don't mean that kind of teaching in that kind of school. But those of us that want to help somebody else, whether it's a golf swing, learning how to speak, learning how to create something that's going to, really sell, it's all about helping someone, being an assistant to them, tutoring, training, guiding, mentoring. You fill in the word. But if it's in your soul and you want to do it, people know it, man. They can smell it through a video screen. They can go, that guy seems to enjoy helping me with something that really scares the you-know-what out of me. And if he does that, what else can he do well?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I've had people tell me, I've been talking to them on the phone, and they've told me, I can tell you're smiling while you're talking to me. And I think that comes along right about what you're saying. You have to enjoy what you're doing.
You do.
and enjoying what you're doing comes with getting the right training and doing the right things. If you're constantly fighting an uphill battle, you need to find out what you're doing. And I don't want to say doing wrong.
No.
You may not be preparing or doing things in the way that makes it easier. Every business, everybody, every entrepreneur is going to have ups and downs. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of the reason that we're entrepreneurs, because it's never boring.
No, it's not.
So I totally agree with you, Bob, 1,000%. So let's kind of go back to, again, your business, because it's so interesting to me what you can offer not only an inventor, an entrepreneur, but really even in the corporate world. Do you do anything with, I want to say companies or corporations that are?
I do. I put myself out as a trainer, which, most people think of corporate trainers, they think of stand-up classrooms. Nowadays, just like you pointed out to me, you've done some webinars, occasionally you don't. But the point is, you've got to be in a mode where I am, like to be able to train virtually, in reality, face-to-face, and then be able to offer a customer not only coaching so he can speak before a council or Shark Tank or whatever he's going before, but also to do this, to look at himself in a camera and go, wait a minute, there's a large frame around me. Maybe if I come in other words, the more you learn about presenting yourself, the easier it gets. Not that it's ever totally easy, Carmine, but like anything else that we struggle with, practice makes progress. So I try to train people in groups, small groups. I offer that service. I can do webinars. And certainly one-on-one makes it very individual and very customized for that client. But no matter what, if you work with someone who's going to help you, they have to know you and know your goals, in other words, to help you get there.
Yeah, I agree. And it seems like you have that in your bag of tricks where, anyone that calls you or anybody that needs some help, it doesn't seem where you're really, and again, I don't want to sound like you said, sound hokey or whatever, where you don't really have to turn them away. It seems like you'll be able to help almost anyone that calls you in some way, which is really important. Sometimes people will make that one call. It takes them a while to say, I need help. And then they'll call somebody and that person will say, well, I can't help you with that. And then, it kind of puts them down and they won't make that next call.
Good point.
So it's really important for somebody like yourself that says, yeah, I can help you. And this is what I can do. And because you probably know, so many other people, you might only be able to take them 80% there, but you got to say, hey, I can help you with this. And I have just the right person to help with this.
Just like I explained to you, privately when we were talking about some of my medical conditions, sometimes you can't just go to a family practitioner. You got to say, Carmine is a specialist. He's involved in telecommunications. He's involved in this. So you refer people like and trust. I mean, that's the standard phrase, Carmine. We all live by it, but occasionally we have to be able to accept that our business can't handle all the business. We got to share it with the people we know, like, and trust.
I agree. So networking, that's going back to your sort of social media suggestion, having that network. It sounds weird, but having that network, even if it's people you've never met, having that network of people, not your friend or your neighbor who's always going to agree with you, but those people that are going to tell you the truth, tell you, hey, listen, you're doing this right. You're doing this, you might want to change it around or say this differently. It's very important to have that networking of people. And that's even, again, I talk about the Toastmasters and other groups. Are there any other groups that you belong to we haven't mentioned?
No, not as far as developing your speaking abilities or your communication acumen. It's just that it's like anything, if I can get them started, and a lot of times I can just kind of make that recommendation, they can go, oh, now I have a place to go where I don't have to pay a lot of money, dues are minimal. I can work with people that are fun. I said fun because nobody associates the word fun, Carmine, with public speaking. They go, what? Fun? No such thing, man, unless you're on drugs. No, it's not about drugs. It's about if you're with the right people, they're helping you. They're supporting you. They're going, go Carmine. It's like a sport. But you got to believe that you can do it, man, because if you don't believe it, if you're not motivated from here, you'll never take the first step.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, again, I've known Bob for years now, and he sold me on the importance of presenting yourself in all different forms, three-dimensionally. He sold me from the first time I met him. It is so important to present yourself correctly. And I'm working on my presentation skills all the time. I jump in front of a group and I forget all about it sometimes. I got my hands in my pockets. Like all of a sudden I go, what am I doing? It takes like everything else. It takes a lot of work and constantly staying on yourself. And And it's very important, but the presentation side, and that's why, like I said, Bob told me, we recommend Bob and his company to any of the inventors or entrepreneurs that come to us that are really going to be presenting their product. They're going to be looking for crowd, funding, and they're going to be in front of the crowds, in front of people, and they really need to get that message across, not only just saying it, but concisely and in the correct amount of time. And you don't want to be talking about your product for 20 minutes and you didn't even get to the product yet, so it's very important. Like I said, Bob sold me on his services, his knowledge, his experience, his expertise from the first minute I met him. So let's just real quick go back. I knew we're going to be getting out of time. I think we got about another 10 minutes or so. So I think we'll be able to, maybe about 5 minutes or so.
Okay, sure.
Real quick, Bob. So your perfect client, I know you have trouble, and I don't want to even use the word trouble. I think it's a terrible word. Your perfect client would be who? Maybe if you could describe that person.
Yeah, I'm gonna split the answer into two, because there are people that are in corporate or organizations that need help with just interviewing and kind of presenting for their boss. I work with them, but in terms of what you do, you're working with people that really, Carmine, even though they're inventors, and that's the name of that whole category, they're also wanting to be entrepreneurs. They're wanting to get their product or service to market. So my prime market, if you will, are those that are saying, I got this great idea, Carmine, but I don't even want the camera on. No, you got to get to the point where you want the camera on, because you want the world to go, holy smoke, that's great. Who invented that? In other words, I want to work with people that want to get their word out, but want to be able to show and tell, get it out in a way that says, I'm responsible for this. This invention was mine. My idea is important. And let's face it, Carmine, a lot of times when you're selling a product, it's just as much the salesman or saleswoman that's responsible for getting the word out as it is if you hold it up and go, look, isn't it pretty? Yeah, it's pretty, but who's this guy? Is he going to tell me something about it? It's got to be the person. So I look at entrepreneurs, especially small businessmen, small business people that don't have a lot of money, but have the desire to say, I got to figure out a way to get on camera, get before an audience, go networking to my crowds, and be able to say what I've got to say clearly, concisely, and in the most compelling way.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm tell you about this guy. It's unbelievable. It's exactly right. He hit it right on the head. You only get one shot at this. And if you want to do it the right way, you don't want to have any regrets. Bob is definitely the person you should be speaking with. So Bob, real quick, I know that, and I'm not trying to rush, we can go over.
Sure.
What's kind of next for you? You have anything going on that you want to, kind of tell people about? Do you speak anywhere? Do you have any engagements going on? We're going to obviously have you back on.
Yeah.
Is anything going on there, or anywhere people can maybe run into you? I know you're from the Tampa area. Is that correct?
Yeah, Tampa Bay. We like to say Tampa Bay instead of Pinellas County, because even though I got my start with inventors by working with the Pinellas Inventors Council, now I'm working with you, and I'm getting to expand my horizons in terms of inventors with all of Tampa Bay. And virtually, let's face it, anybody could connect in from Arkansas, California. It doesn't really matter where they're from. So the point is, I don't do a lot of physical networking right now. I've got some medical issues, but I'm going to get back into that. But at least this part I can do like I'm doing right now, sitting right here in my home. So I can work with anybody anyway. And let's face it, as you look at the camera, as you look at the screen, a person can stand back where I'm pointing and work his whole presentation. And I could still say, Carmine, move a little to the left, move a little to the right, make sure your eyes are looking this way. The whole point of the matter is you can work from anywhere. So I'm ready to do whatever I need to do where I'm working.
Somebody's calling in now.
Turn that off. But as far as me getting around, I want to be able to do that no matter where it is physically, and certainly where it is virtually. So I'm kind of ready to rock and roll in any media or any medium platform that they need.
That's great.
Well, you've reached the voicemail for Bob and Vicky Turel. Please leave a message and we'll
cut
you back
that out.
right away.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, we'll cut it.
It's a perfect example, anybody that's listening in, of anything that could happen. Didn't you notice that was happening, and Bob didn't even stop talking? That's the difference. You have to be ready for anything that happens. That's what's great about having a live show, is we don't know what's going to happen. but having a guest on whose experience is Bob, he didn't panic. He just said, I'm just going to keep talking, and it didn't even faze him. But you're exactly right, Bob. Being able to utilize technology to speak with a client anywhere in the world. And actually, sometimes I think some of the people would feel better. Not only cuts down on costs, they don't have to travel. They don't have to drive. They might be home. They might have children. They might be running a business from home. And hey, Bob, even though I live in the same town, I can't get out of my house. I can, but I need to stay home. I don't have to spend money on a babysitter. My husband doesn't have to stay home to come see you. Can we do this electronically? Can we do this over the internet? It's so important to be able to do that. So I know that you implement a lot of technology in order to help your clients, which is great. I think is really good. It probably helps in the long run, everyone.
Yeah.
So
if you think about it, Carmine, you and I met, out physically networking, and there's no harm or foul in that. That's where you get upfront and up close, personal, make the relationships. But these days, you have to say it, not just 2017, but I mean, it's really been the last few years. This is where it's at, to use that old-fashioned expression. You've got to be able to talk to somebody in Germany. You got to be able to talk to somebody wherever they are, different time zones. I've done that with Toastmasters. And the point is, you make the arrangement and say, okay, Carm, I'll meet you at 8 o'clock my time tonight. It'll be, 4 p.m. your time in wherever, Australia. But that's how you make world-class business, because you're dealing world-class communications.
I totally agree. And that's one thing that's awesome is these days, if you are an entrepreneur, you're thinking about starting a business, it's not only locally anymore. It's you can be successful locally, yes, but you can work internationally. You can work nationally very, very easily. So you have to believe that you can do that, but you have to have the right people on your team and be able to present and talk about your product the right way. And you need to be able to get out there in social media and tell people why they should do business with you.
True.
So okay, Bob, we're going to start wrapping up. I do want to ask you to let people know how they can get in touch with you. I'm sure that they're going to get some people that are going to want to reach out to you, maybe ask questions. And as most of our guests on, I'm sure Bob will answer your questions if you have any. So please reach out to him. But what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Okay, let me start with the easiest way, because since most people, I'm going to hold up my hand, have the mobile device. Usually it's a phone. I'm going to give my cell phone. My mobile phone is 727-517-5753. We can put that on the screen, I'm sure. 727-517-5753. That's my mobile. And then, of course, I have a personal email, but I'll give you the long version of my professional email. And that's simply coach, the word coach, @BobTurelPresentationsCoach.com. Now, that's long-winded, but you know how domain names go. Sometimes you can't always get the one you want. So BobTurelPresentationsCoach.com is the formal domain name with coach and before the @sign. That's the formal email. To visit my website, it's simply PresCoach, no space, PresCoach.com, which of course points or indicates to the main site. But the point is, the phone call can begin this, Carmine, just like we're doing now, a conversation. Tell me about your project. What's your idea? What do you need to do? Because if you can't discuss that, you really can't discuss fees and length of time we're going to work on things. A lot of people say, how much is a video? Videos depend on your project. What are you trying to accomplish? You always have to start with the end goal in mind. What do you want to do? And then we work backwards and say, it's going to take this many hours, this kind of work. So I'm all about project orientation. And as long as it's willing to be discussed, we can always work out terms.
Yeah, I agree. And you're on social media. I think that you're under Bob, B-O-B. Your last name is Turel.
Turel, T-U-R-E-L, 1R, 1L.
U-R-E.
So you can look me up on YouTube. You get an idea of the videos there that I do. You look me at Facebook is easy, just Bob Turel. And of course, the type ahead will always bring up the names. LinkedIn is the same way. I've been on LinkedIn for years. And, those are the basic ways to say, if you go on LinkedIn, in the old days, Carmine, a lot of people may remember this, they had recommendations, not just likes, likes and clicks and, all that stuff. But if you go to my profile page, you can read almost 200 recommendations about how I teach, how I promote, how I work with people and counsel them. Okay. So when you're looking for referrals and testimonials, that's one of the best places to go, once again, business-wise.
Yeah, well, again, anyone that's needing your services, I would think that what you've talked about here is definitely a testimonial to, again, your knowledge and experience and how you help entrepreneurs and inventors move not only their businesses forward, but their products forward. And we're going to kind of wrap it up, but I do appreciate you, Bob, taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know you got things going on. I mean, obviously people calling in already. They want to hire you. The phone's ringing. And we're going to have you later. We're going to have you back on the Launchpad at some point. We're going to cover some questions I had. I had a whole list of questions. I knew that we would cover our time pretty quickly. And I appreciate it. And you take care, and we'll see you again on the Launchpad in the near future.
Okay. Thank you, Carmine. Thanks, everybody at your shop, for having me on. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Bob. Take care, buddy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And again, this is Carmine. I hope that you enjoyed this session here on Inventors Launchpad Roadmap to Success. If you did, please go out to iTunes or Google Play, leave a review for us, subscribe, and tell your friends if they need some help. We'll be here to help them in any way possible. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.